Hi, good morning, everybody, or afternoon, whenever you're viewing this. It's 10:30 in Arizona right now. I want to say hello and give a shout out to all my friends and family back in the Chicago area, which imagine it's a 2 hour time difference, so 12:30 afternoon for you guys. Real quickly, I just wanted to do a review on the newest Gordon Ramsay show, cooking show, which is called 24 Hours to Hell and Back. I love all the shows I've seen of Gordon Ramsay. I've never seen Hotel Hell or The F Word. Those are the two of the shows I haven't seen. But I've always been a big fan of Hell's Kitchen. That's been on for almost 15 years, I believe. They're in the low 20s or maybe mid 20s with all the seasons they've done. And MasterChef, Junior MasterChef. I saw maybe the first two seasons of that with the kids. That's good. And Kitchen Nightmares, which is no longer on the air, maybe just reruns. That was my favorite show of Gordon Ramsay's. I was really disappointed a few years ago when that went off the air for whatever reason. I think it was maybe some contract dispute with Fox, because that's the channel that I believe all of his shows are aired on. But he does a show, this newest show I was going to talk about. It's very similar to Kitchen Nightmares. In fact, I like it even better. It's the first season. I believe probably, I think I've seen all the episodes, maybe 7 or 8 episodes in. I believe it's been on the last 2 months. It took me a while to catch on to it. I was doing some catching up on demand on that show. It's very similar to Kitchen Nightmares, like I said, but it's even better. Basically, what it is he goes to these restaurants like Kitchen Nightmares. Supposedly, he was there like a week, and he would redo the menu, redo the atmosphere, the ambiance in the restaurant, and fix all these personality conflicts. Which it seems like it would be pretty hard to do that in a week. But 24 hours to hell and back, I don't know. It's amazing how he's able to do it. But supposedly he fixes everything, or at least attempts to fix everything in 24 hours. So far, all the shows have been a success. I think the last episode I did see, it was a success, but they do an update, like a live stream, a few months later, and it seemed like that restaurant, they went back to their old ways. They totally, Ramsay, he had set up a new menu for them, and it seemed like their personality conflicts were improving. But unfortunately, it looks like everybody went back. They went back to the old menu. Everybody went back to their old ways. But what it is, it's really funny because Kitchen Nightmares, they knew that he was coming, and I think they usually would like put on a show, even though the food still pretty much sucked, and he was noticing all the kinks, all the problems with these restaurants. Now he's really catching them with their pants down because they think, from what I believe, I don't know if they know it has anything to do with Gordon Ramsay, but they believe that they're like in line to possibly get a restaurant makeover. So what happens is, I think it goes on for a couple of weeks. His crew discreetly goes in there and they like set up hidden cameras, and this is good because none of these people know if they're being recorded. All this unsanitary stuff is going on in the kitchen. Waitresses dancing. There was actually one where I saw a waitress was making out with a bartender, and they show them this footage. Yeah, so Gordon Ramsay already knows all this crap that's been going on, and they usually would put on a game face, but they knew that they were serving Gordon Ramsay, even the food was still crap most of the time. He was always criticizing it, but in this case, he goes in every episode. He goes in disguise. He doesn't have any natural facial hair, but he always puts on like a mustache or a beard, puts glasses or a hat on, and he walks in with like he'll pick like there was one where he like saw like four construction workers, and he talked them into going to the restaurant with him, sort of like undercover. And he dressed like a construction worker. And there was I think the last episode, yeah, this owner was waiting on his table. Him and these four guys, four construction workers, he picked up on the street. And the food was terrible, and it's funny because it's not just his food. He's observing all of his friends' food too, and he'll say like, oh yeah, your calamari looks like it's really greasy. Your fries, there's a bruise, a green spot, brown spot, and your one French fry there. That's so disgusting. So usually, supposedly he's at the table for like an hour, but it's usually like 5 to 10 minutes in each episode. He's like, all right, I've had enough. He's like, I'm gonna come out, and he goes into the bathroom or closet or something like that, and he takes his disguise off, and everyone's always shocked to see him there. And what he does is, there's people in the restaurant, real customers, and he'll tell everybody, put your forks down, stop eating. I need you all to come with me. And he's got like this truck trailer he travels in. It's got a huge like video monitor, and he'll show them like all the. It's kind of nice because the camera doesn't lie. Um, he shows them all. He's like, I know what's been going on at the restaurant the past few weeks. Everybody take a look. Man, it's got to be pretty embarrassing for the restaurant workers and the customer. He wants the customers to see too, and they see all the stuff going on. And from that point on, they got 24 hours to fix it. He's got clocks all over the video monitors all over the restaurant with a countdown, so they know how much time that they have left. And he invites all the customers and then some back to the restaurant the next day on his tab. So what happens is, I'm not sure if it really happens in 24 hours. If it does, it's pretty impressive. The Kitchen Nightmares, they'd actually be working in the actual restaurant kitchen, working on the menu. But this, because they're redoing the kitchen, a lot of times he's getting them new kitchen equipment, and totally, a lot of these kitchens are really gross, really unsanitary with, mice and insects all over the place, caked on grease behind the cooking equipment. So a lot of times, he's got all these contractors, and they're working, just totally redoing these restaurants, the kitchen, the dining room, the storage areas. So in this truck, like this 18-wheeler, inside he's got like a commercial kitchen in there, and he has some of his colleagues. He creates a new menu, and he has the colleagues of his working alongside these cooks and chefs to make sure they've mastered all the new dishes. So they basically, it's kind of like Kitchen Nightmares. They're also, he shows them the new kitchen equipment, how they redone the kitchen, cleaned everything up. Usually the dining room, there's new tables, new chairs, tablecloths, remodeling the bar, everything basically updating. And so there's that. They show them all the updates. And then, the customers come in, and every episode, there's usually a line out the door. The customers from the previous evening or the previous afternoon, morning are coming back for their free dinner on Ramsay, and then some. The restaurant's usually packed because they want to see what this new menu's all the new restaurant's all about. And it's a lot like, Kitchen Nightmares. Things start off kind of rough. They start to kind of go back their old ways. They lose it a little bit, but they eventually pull through. They do like a halfway decent, slightly above average. They're still working out kinks. Slightly above average dinner service, and he leaves after 24 hours. And then subsequently, I think it's like 2 or 3 months later, they whoever is interested in doing it, I guess like the owner, the chef, or I guess just like the owner's family, whoever wants to do it, they'll just do like a live stream, and a lot of times they're thanking Ramsay, thanking for everything he did, and the business is just continuing to increase, or everybody's loving our food, and I think all the episodes were a success so far, except I did say the last one, I think they had gone back to their old ways, but that's normal. I think on Kitchen Nightmares, maybe half the restaurants ended up closing. I mean, these people were some of them were almost already, even as much as Ramsay did for them, some of them were already, $1 million in debt. So, there probably wasn't much that, even though he turned things around, I just don't think it was really possible to keep some of the restaurants open. But that's still pretty impressive. And, whether these restaurants continue to stay open and do better business because Gordon Ramsay actually fixed them, or maybe because, they just had the word or the reputation of being fixed by him, you can definitely argue that. But either way, it's, what Ramsay does with these restaurants is pretty impressive. So yeah, I definitely, if you're a Gordon Ramsay fan, you love cooking shows, restaurant shows, I definitely recommend checking it out. It's my favorite show of Ramsay's so far, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I'm not sure how many more episodes there are for this season, but I think this will definitely be a success, like a lot of his other shows, and I'm pretty sure we'll see many episodes and many seasons to come in the coming years, hopefully. And favorite show of Ramsay's by far. See you all next time. Have a good rest of your day.